Hello, everybody. This is José Ignacio from the Uncomfortable Dialogues 2022.
For today's Uncomfortable Dialogue, we have my best friend, Chris Martin. He has been a senior working for United West for probably 30 years. So he has seen all the beauties and all the benefits they are bringing to the community for a long, long time. He used to be working in Cincinnati, and recently he moved to San Antonio, Texas, where we are co-located. And now he's the president or the leader of United West San Antonio and the Bexar County. So without any further ado, welcome to this Uncomfortable Dialogue, Chris. How are you doing?
All right. Thank you, Jose Ignacio. Doing well. Thank you for having me today and happy to talk.
So it's really a pleasure to have a discussion with you today. So since you have been working for United West for a long, long time, can you really tell us life is business as usual, or you have seen many bumps down the road because of this health crisis?
And I would tell you in my 30 years, we've seen many changes. And in the last 2 years with COVID, with the COVID pandemic, I mean, certainly talk about major business disruption. I mean, it disrupted every aspect of our organization and really forced us and to make swift change, adjustments along the way, and really understand what it was that we were trying to accomplish on a daily basis, especially early on in the pandemic. While things have, I think, somewhat leveled out in terms of managing from a crisis standpoint, it's not quite like it was in the very beginning, but certainly was very disruptive early on in the pandemic.
Yeah, I agree. But in a way, any crisis really make or try to get the best of the humankind. But if you compare apples to apples, do you think that because of the pandemic, the communities or the organization or even the employees are more inclined to support novel causes like United Ways, or you are having a hard time telling them that you are here to support?
A great question, and I think I think one of the things that we were able to do as an organization here in San Antonio was as we shifted and pivoted to do different things. Number one, I think our mission statement allowed us to do that. It really positioned us well to do that because we had gone through the process of redeveloping and rethinking what our mission was, and our mission is about dealing with our community's most critical issues. And it became a critical issue for this community and every community across the country. So it allowed us to shift and think differently about our work. I think it allowed people in our community, in this community, I should say, to really see us very differently than they may have seen us before. I think they saw us doing different work, but I think they saw us doing work that was critical to the success of our community, to the safety of our residents, and hopefully putting us in a position to recover in a manner that we might not have been before.
Yeah. And now let's say from a leadership standpoint, you may have kind of a toolbox that you develop over the last 30 years in multiple opportunities working for United Ways. From this toolbox, can you really share with us the 2 or 3 things that you are doing even better now because of the crisis?
So certainly listening was definitely um, one skill that I think was strengthened through all this. And when you're not right there in person with somebody, it really forces you to listen even that much closer,
Exactly.
because you don't see body language like you may have when you're in a room with somebody. You can't necessarily read that. So, and I would also say that our ability to be flexible and to think differently on a daily basis to really make sure that we were able um, to make sure that we were able to do the best that we could on a daily basis. And I mean, certainly we all strive for long-term results and annual results and monthly results and weekly results. And early on, I will tell you, it was day to day. And our senior leadership team early on in the pandemic, once we went to a work remote environment, we met on a daily basis every morning, first thing in the morning, and we just needed to make sure that we were doing our best and we weren't just settling for getting through the day. It was, how are we going to get better today at what we're doing, and how are we going to strive for even greater results and put our best foot forward as an organization and as a team.
Are you allowed to change the business plan, or you can really modify the business plan based on what people are telling you that is important for this quarter or for this year?
You know, that's a great question. And did we adjust and modify our business plan? Absolutely. But what I will also tell you is we stayed true to what it was. We stayed true to our organizational DNA on what we were trying to accomplish for our community and for the people that we serve. And because of that, I think we are a much stronger organization as we come out of this. And I think we feel as if we were able to stay true to what we were about and the goals we wanted to accomplish. We just had to do it a little bit differently than we might have thought, and that was a good thing for us.
And the other thing I noticed that oftentimes you don't work directly with the end user. You work through other partners, and the partners really package your message towards the final person. So can you give us kind of an idea of how many partners do you work with here in San Antonio?
Well, from a funding standpoint, we're funding more than 65 nonprofits to do the work.
Wow.
And what's really exciting is we've gone through a transition here over the last few years, and really thinking collectively about what we're trying to do in this community, and to have those partners sitting at the table with one another, not just with us, but with one another, and talking about trying to achieve common goals. There are different strategies that each of them may be implementing, and some of them are implementing the same strategy, just in different geographic locations in our community. And but to have them at the table and talking about what those common goals look like, and talking about the progress that we are making collectively, that's the real value that our United Way is bringing to the table. We are bringing people together because there's no one organization that can solve these issues on its own.
Excellent. And I agree with you. I mean, there is no one single person or organization who can really solve the problems, but by working in a coalition mode, we can make it happen.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I would say that United Ways will be kind of that coalition orchestration or collaboration through San Antonio, as well as in other cities as well.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay.
And we're bringing people together. We bring people and organizations together to create change and create positive impact in our community.
Now, one final question. What are the two things that we think we will be able to use in the future when it comes to leadership skills? Is there anything else that we need to really unroast in our portfolio to get ready for the future?
Well, I think number one, if we as leaders are not driven and working closely with our teams to be better, I think we will be very challenged to be successful as individuals, but also, as more importantly, as an organization. It's interesting. As I was reading some of the background material for our call today, I saw one of the quotes in there, and it was a quote that I actually used with our team here on the very first day that I started as the CEO, and that was, we talked about how complacency did not allow us to make the progress that we needed to make, and being comfortable was not a healthy thing, and so I literally, on my very first day as CEO, said to the group, I said, there's one thing I want you to be comfortable with, and that is being uncomfortable, because if we are not uncomfortable, it means we are not testing the limits. We are not, we're not pressing to be better. If we're not uncomfortable, and discomfort's not a bad thing if used in the right way as individuals. And that's kind of the way we're, I'm really, I guess, blessed and honored to have a team that believes in that every day believes in what can we do better. And that's a culture that we've been able to build, and feel very, quite frankly, I think our community is a better community for it as well.
Absolutely. And I am a witness of this being uncomfortable, because I have been working with United Ways for the last 35 years, and every country, every city, United Way is there to fix the comfortable mindset, because you guys really bring on comfort in a way that we can really transform the organization very effectively.
Yeah.
Chris, thank you very much for your time. It's really a pleasure to have a conversation with you.